Hi and welcome to another video update from the Fire Brigades Union, once again under the extraordinary circumstances caused by the COVID-19 crisis. We're joined by General Secretary Matt Wrack via a video conference facility to discuss the fourth in a series of unprecedented agreements between the Fire Brigades Union, National Fire Service Employers and the National Fire Chiefs Council. Now Matt, as I said, these are unprecedented agreements. You've been locked in negotiations for the last week, and now there are two further areas of additional work that firefighters will be undertaking. First of all, the face fitting of masks for NHS and clinical care staff working with COVID-19, and the delivery of PPE and other medical supplies to the NHS and care home facilities. First of all, how did these two areas come about, and are there likely to be any more additional work activities for firefighters in the future?
Hi, Tam. Well, the agreement allows for regular three-way meetings between the union, the national employers and the NFCC. And any of those three parties can bring suggestions about additional work to be signed off. Clearly, we need to think carefully about all those additional work activities. We need to protect the core functions of the fire and rescue service and make sure whatever we take on, we can actually deliver. So there's a lot, it shouldn't be rushed, it should be thought carefully through, although clearly we need to be speedy about addressing things. So any of those three parties can make suggestions. In some cases, it's come up through the union. And that's what happened with these two activities. The NFCC and ourselves discussed that. We then had a three-way discussion. And as you say, now the fourth such document has been signed off. That's now out for local services to implement, again, in discussion with the union to make sure training, PPE, risk assessment and so on is put in place. So that's how it's happened. And I would urge everyone to read those documents. They're all available on the union's website. They are very important documents for taking our service forward, but also protecting our members' conditions and health and safety.
Now, Matt, as you said, there is now 5 areas of additional work. Driving ambulances and giving support to the ambulance service, delivery of essential items to vulnerable persons, mass casualty, movement of bodies due to COVID-19, and now, of course, face fitting of masks and delivery of PPE. But if a service or a fire service employer wants to add additional work, what process should they undertake to bring this forward?
Well, first of all, they shouldn't be just approaching people at local level. It's better for everyone if this is if there's joined up thinking and a joined up approach nationally to this. So anyone can make those suggestions through their respective organisation. So a fire and rescue service chief officer, for example, has the route through the NFCC, whereby the NFCC will thereby prioritise the ones they want to raise. And that comes into those tripartite discussions. So that's the mechanism. It should be understood by everyone that that's the way to do it. And we've clearly, as you can see from the agreements, we've been signing off those additional areas of activity following discussion.
Now, Matt, you raised the issue of many services wanting to undertake additional work. And we know from members' feedback that many firefighters and emergency fire control staff are getting approached by managers locally in order to undertake additional work. But how do members have the assurance that any additional work has been properly agreed by the union?
Well, firstly, I think everyone should familiarise themselves with the agreement, and particularly with those 5 areas currently, as we speak today, is it within the list of the 5 areas? But secondly, that's not the end of it, because there should then be discussions at local level to make sure that it is appropriate in that fire service and that the necessary PPE is provided, training, resources and managerial support. And that information can be obtained through local FBU reps. So I think we've suggested that people might need to think about watch reps in this current situation, but then raise that with the FBU branch rep, who in turn can raise that with the brigade's officials, the brigade health and safety rep and the brigade secretary and chair and organiser. So our local officials will have those discussions with fire service management, and that's the way to find out the facts on the ground, because this will vary from service to service. In some areas They may want all 5 of those activities. In others, they may not want none, and in others, they may want 1 or 2. It will vary across the country.
Now, Matt, and just finally, of course, this is the additional work we are focusing on, but the day-to-day work of the Fire and Rescue Service is still going on. We've seen local areas undertaking large-scale firefighting operations, and of course, incidents such as road traffic collisions, etc., going on. Now, some firefighters will be unable to participate or volunteer for additional work for personal reasons. They may be living with somebody vulnerable at home, but their vital work still goes on. Just a word for those people.
Well, I think the whole community, clearly everyone is rightly focused on the amazing work being done in the National Health Service. But I think we need to remember everyone in public services at this time. And for us, our firefighters and those working in emergency fire controls who are keeping an essential service going in the most difficult circumstances, and then in many cases are now volunteering to take on additional functions to help out our communities in the face of the COVID-19 crisis. I think that's amazing work. It deserves to be recognised. We certainly do, I think, those who know the service, but it deserves to be recognised more widely by society and by politicians at the end of the day.
And that's a great point to finish on. Matt, thanks very much for joining us. Well, for more updates on this issue, please go to our website. It's getting updated constantly, and that's www.fbu.org.uk. For more media updates, follow us on Twitter, and that's @FBU National. So next time, thanks for joining us, and Matt, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Sam, and thanks everyone.